Hello, my dear viewers and the rest of the listeners. Welcome to this presentation in which I'll be looking on the topic by the title, Manage Your Time to Save Your Life. My name is Mema JM, or you can simply call me Emily Swap. Time is the period or duration that it takes you to do something. While management is the process of getting things done in an effective and efficient manner. Therefore, time management is the process of effectively and efficiently utilizing the available duration to achieve a predefined objective. It is the process of planning and exercising conscious control over the amount of time that you spend on specific activities in order to improve your effectiveness, efficiency, and productivity in whatever that you do, thus enabling you to get more value out of your time with the aim of improving your quality of life. It entails a set of principles, practices, skills, tools, and systems working together to help you to effectively utilize your time to achieve your intended objectives. In fact, whereas it is said that time is money, money is not everything, because if you don't manage your time, no amount of money can grant you sustainable success. Therefore, time is life. Why? Because everything that is done by anybody consumes certain amount of time, and if an individual utilizes time to achieve an objective that can positively change his or her life or the life of others, then once one starts achieving this objective, his or her life starts to change in comparison to those that don't utilize their time effectively. For sure, our Creator granted each one of us an opportunity to achieve our dreams in life, but what differentiates the status of life between one individual and another is how each individual utilizes his or her time and what he or she does within that time. This is because all of us as human beings have been granted equal amount of time to utilize in achieving our life goals, which is 24 hours per day for each individual for 7 days in a week. But have you ever wondered why is it that some people seem to have enough time to do everything that they wanted to, whereas others are always rushing from task to task and never seem to finish anything? Is it just that the former ones have less to do? The response is simply on the negative. It is a resounding no, no, no. The reason is simply because those individuals use their time more effectively than others while practicing good time management skills. Therefore, we all have equal amount of time per day, but our achievements are distinguished by how each one of us manages his or her time and how smart each individual performs his or her scheduled tasks. In fact, those individuals that don't manage their time survive by luck, and their destiny is simply blurred. But those that manage their time as they strive to achieve a specific planned objective are bound to succeed, regardless of how many times they may fail, because proper planning of time prevents diversion from planned vision and mission. So, the key question that you must be asking yourself is this: how do I effectively manage my time so that I do not only achieve my current objectives, but I can also be able to utilize it to positively and effectively change my life and the lives of others? The following are therefore 10 techniques or 11 techniques that you can utilize to manage your time. Number one, always formulate an objective that you need to achieve within a certain period of time. The greatest tragedy to any human being is to lead a life without a purpose, because that can be tantamount to committing suicide unconsciously. Executing any task that has no basis in a preset and a predefined objective is similar to navigating into waters whose depths are unknown. For this reason, it is vital for every sober and conscious human being to always ensure that he or she develops an objective, a mission, and a vision to lead his or her life. Every single task executed by an individual who is conscious of success must be based on the foundation of a clearly stipulated objective or a purpose. It is therefore important that you always spare some time to consciously work on an objective that you want to achieve by a certain duration and what you will do and require in order to achieve that objective. Number two, develop and implement a schedule for all your tasks. Once you have formulated your objective, your mission and vision, you then need to outline clearly what you require to do at what time and the specific resources that you will require to achieve it. Therefore, whereas you might have listed several activities to perform so as to achieve your set objective, you need to develop a clear breakdown of the specific tasks that you are going to do at a specific time using specific resources. This simply means that you need to outline a sequence of the specific tasks that you execute at a specific time, accompanied by a set of requirements to accomplish each task. This schedule can also be called a timetable or a time chart or a to-do list. Every activity you will undertake on a daily basis should be clearly catered for in the schedule. As you outline those tasks, you should organize them in order of priority, commencing with those that are more urgent, important, and compulsory, to those that are not urgent, are least important, and are not compulsory. This is because prioritizing your to-do list helps you to focus and spend more of your time on the things that really matter to you. Always differentiate between those activities that are urgent and those that are important. Those that are urgent demand your immediate attention, but whether you actually give them that attention may or may not matter, or may or may not matter, while those that are important matter. And not doing them may have serious consequences for you or others. Therefore, having a written to-do or a written list of all what you will be doing at any given time and allocating each of those tasks a specific amount of time is always the best action to take, because it enables you to take control of your projects and tasks and keep yourself organized. Always remember to provide for some free time within your schedule that you can utilize to catch up with those tasks that might have escaped execution due to emergence of other unavoidable tasks which might have interfered with your schedule, in addition to providing for leisure time. Number 3, always utilize time management tools. These are the tools that you need to help you manage the duration that you have set aside to undertake a certain task so that you don't deviate from it. Some of those tools include a personal wristwatch or a clock with an alarm, a notebook and a pen, amongst other similar tools. It is always important to carry with you a notebook that clearly indicates what you need to do when, in form of time chart or a timetable. In other words, you must always ensure that you walk around with your schedule in a notebook so that you can always access it easily to monitor your time utilization. Then have a wristwatch or a clock with an alarm that you can always gaze at to monitor your time utilization, and an alarm to alert you when the duration that you had set for a certain task has been exhausted. A pocket pen will always help you take note of any unplanned or emergent but mandatory activity that you might have executed while they were not part of your schedule, or they were part of your schedule but executed at a different time other than the time that has been set for it, so that you can be able to reschedule them later and avoid forgetting or compensating for them. In addition, the notebook and a pen are always important because you never know when you are going to have a great idea or a brilliant insight, and thus you can always jot it down or capture your thoughts once it clocks in your mind. Sometimes you may just be walking around while attending to other activities only for the right procedure or a solution to a problem that had given you a challenge to cross your mind, and the faster you write it down or record it, the better. Otherwise, it might just disappear from your mind or escape from your thoughts, never to come across your mind again. Many people, including yourself, might be struggling to lead a life that is not successful because your idea for success just crossed your mind one day, and because you did not write it down, you did not jot down that idea, or you didn't record it, it just disappeared from your mind. The utilization of the above tools for the management of your time forms what is called a time management system. Using a time management system can help you to keep track of everything that you need to do, organize and prioritize your work, and develop sound plans to complete it. An integrated system is like glue that holds all the best time management practices together. Number 4, always carry with you a digital recorder. Why? A serious person who is ready to succeed in life, it's important that you also always ensure that you have a device that you can use to capture your thoughts in audio form. This device should always be set ready for recording any ideas that cross in your mind, sometimes even while asleep. In fact, many great ideas, great songs, great poems, and other such intellectual properties cross in people's minds unconsciously, including while asleep. For that reason, and because you may never know when such great ideas may cross your mind, always carry with you not only a notebook, but also a recorder. Let this recorder always be next to you, including when asleep, so that once you dream it or have a vision about it, you just record it down immediately, or you just record it immediately you come out of sleep. This recorder is very important tool that you can use to capture your thoughts in audio form, such as in form of a song or just in form of words. After recording your spoken word, you can then convert them into text later when it's convenient for you and is convenient to do so. Number 5, assess regularly your adherence to your time schedule. That is, keep a goal journal. An unjustified assumption that you are utilizing your time well without having taken time to evaluate how you have been and are spending your time is a serious obstacle that bars you from your progress regardless of how good your schedule might be. You cannot be able to measure your achievement through guesswork. It is therefore important and advisable that you spare some time at the end of each day, at the end of each week, and at the end of each month to evaluate how you have been spending your time and the extent to which you have been able to achieve your set objectives. Then, if you realize that there are certain tasks that you had planned to achieve within a certain period of time, but you were not able to achieve them or accomplish them, think about what hindered you from achieving them and then work on a way of handling those hindrances so that you can be able to go back on track. During that time, it's good to think about what you might have been giving up to do your regular activities or remain on task, on track. In addition, you need to scrutinize each activity that you have undertaken and see whether it has added any value towards achievement of your objective, so that if it hasn't, you can stop doing such activity that is no longer serving you, so that you can be able to spend the time while doing something that is more valuable to you. Always consider what you are giving up in order to maintain your current activities. In addition, it's also important that you plan for the forthcoming week on the last day of the current week. This means on Sunday evening, so that you can be able to put in place the requirements for the coming week and plan on how you will deal with those tasks whose resources might not be ready before the commencement of the week. You should thus always break down your overall objective into smaller objectives, or what I call sub-objectives, that can be attained on a weekly basis, so that you can cumulatively be able to achieve or attain your objective within a certain time, or within a certain time to a certain extent. And for that reason, you should always break down your overall objective into smaller but achievable sub-objectives that you can attain on a weekly basis, so that cumulatively you have attained that objective to a certain extent by a certain predetermined time. For that reason, always plan for your week before it commences, at the same time when you are also evaluating what you have been able to achieve in the ending week. It is thus advisable that you start a journal and be writing into it your progress for each goal every week. Then go through that goal journal each week in order to make sure that you are on the right track. Number 6 is reviewing each day's tasks and planning for the next day. The greatest difference between human beings and other animals is their ability to assess what one has been able to do and putting in place strategies for the way forward. It is therefore important that you assess the activities that you have been able to carry out the whole day in tandem with your overall objectives and goals, so that you can be able to know the extent to which you have been able to meet your daily objectives, and then strategize on how you are going to progress ahead. Therefore, it is vital that you spend some time at the end of each day before you go to bed to review your activities of the day. Then congratulate yourself for what you were able to do, and also rebuke yourself for what you failed to do, yet you had the capacity and the capability to do it well. In addition, find out what contributed to your successes and your failures of the day, and then strategize on how you will deal with those failures going forward. This daily assessment should be in relation to what you had planned for that day on the previous night. Then, once you are through with reviewing your day's activities, plan on what you are going to do on the next day, and make sure to carry forward the lessons that you have learned on the current day, which you are concluding, so that you can also be able to carry forward any pending tasks to implement them on the next day. Once you have outlined the tasks for the next day, make sure to put in place the resources that you will need to execute the next day's tasks. Therefore, The best way to conclude each day's tasks or the end of the day or end the day is to recap that day's tasks and a plan for the next day's tasks so that once you wake up on the next day, you can immediately commence with that day's program. It is not proper to just end the day and commence with the next day without any day's review or next day's plans. Otherwise, the only attribute that can distinguish you from the rest of the animals is the review or the recap that you normally execute to conclude the day linked to the next day's plans. Don't just be an ordinary person that sleeps just like any other animal without any day's review and just wakes up and carries on with the day without any blueprint or roadmap for the day's activities. Number 7 is to stay calm and keep things in perspective. What do I mean? As you assess your level of achievement or progress made within a certain period, you might feel that whereas you have done your level best, you have not yet done enough to achieve what you wanted. That is why, whereas you might be motivated to achieve great things within a certain time, you might have set for yourself objectives that might not be easily accomplished by you within a certain duration. For that reason, do not be too harsh on yourself. For as long as you have not wasted any of your time, but congratulate yourself for what you have been able to do. Then break down some of those tasks into smaller, achievable ones, but don't just do away with important tasks just because they seem not to be being achieved. In fact, feeling overwhelmed by too many tasks can be very stressful. Remember that the world will not end just because you have not been able to achieve a certain task by the set day or duration, as long as you have prioritized it sensibly. Always learn to relax as long as you are striving towards achieving a certain objective. However, if you still realize that you are still not achieving a certain objective, yet it's achievable, you must be using the wrong approach to accomplish it. So, instead of giving up the objective, seek for advice on how you can go about it from those that have succeeded in it, either by directly seeking for advice or by reading about it from literature of those renowned achievers in a similar objective. So, if you are unable to meet a certain deadline, yet you have done all what you could do in order to meet it, don't panic because you still have a life to live and great goals to achieve. Number 8 is avoid procrastination. Avoid procrastination. What is procrastination? Procrastination is a habit of postponing activities that you are supposed to accomplish within a certain duration with an excuse that you will do it later. Always remember that dealing with reality head-on is always the best approach to face life. This is because even if you postpone an activity that you have time to attend to today, a time will still come when you will have to attend to that activity. So, for that reason, whenever you find yourself being tempted to postpone the execution of a certain task, yet that task is factored in your schedule to be accomplished at a certain time, ask yourself why you are tempted to do so. This is because if a task is genuinely urgent and important, you should get on with it. If, however, you will find yourself making excuses about not doing something, you should ask yourself why, and then talk to your colleagues, your supervisor, or a counselor about the matter so that you can know whether there is an alternative that might be better. So, avoid procrastination. Avoid procrastination. Avoid procrastination because it is a killer of your vision. It is a killer of your goal. It is a killer of your objectives, and take action as soon as it appears in your schedule. Number 9, avoid multitasking if it interferes with your progress. Usually, it is easier to accomplish a single task within a certain period of time than to achieve several objectives within the same period. Whereas it is good to achieve several objectives at the same time, such a scenario can be overwhelming to an individual, thus affecting the quality of the outcome for the activities executed. However, concentrating fully on a single objective at a certain period enables one to be fully focused on that objective, and its achievement becomes easier. It is therefore advisable that you perform tasks to achieve a single objective. Then once you accomplish that objective, you proceed to executing tasks to achieve the next higher objective. So, you should not multitask if multitasking interferes with your speed of completion of activities. It is much better to finish off one job before moving on to another. If you do have to do lots of different tasks, then try to group them together and do similar tasks consecutively. Number 10, be assertive. Be assertive. Being assertive is being able and ready to refuse participation in activities that interfere with attainment of your objectives. You should therefore learn to stick to your schedule without being swayed arbitrarily by your friends, to cease from undertaking your tasks for the sake of helping them accomplish their own tasks. It is completely and totally wrong to allow someone divert you from executing your scheduled tasks and then fitting within their schedule at the detriment of your own, only for you to regret later why you allowed them or why you allowed such to happen. It is not helpful to regret about your past actions, but it's good to act at the current moment to deal head-on with any requests from any friends that may make you regret later. You should therefore always learn to say no, capital no, for the sake of your schedule, unless if you have seriously thought about the benefits for accepting the request and you have realized that in order for you to be able to accomplish a certain set target, you have to oblige to a certain request. In fact, many people become overloaded with too much work because they overcommit themselves on others' tasks at the expense of their own tasks, and they accept every request for the sake of being socially accepted, even at a time when they should refuse a request. You should therefore be always ready to reject any request that can be detrimental to your achievements so that you can free up time to spend on things that are important to you and things that have been scheduled in your schedule. If you turn yourself into a public flag that is swayed right, left, back, forward, right, left, back, forward, right, left, back, forward, I want to tell you, if you are going to behave like a flag that is swayed towards every direction by others' opinions, thus fitting in others' plans at the expense of your own plan, then I can assure you that you will become a socialite for a fallen hero who perishes in the whims of others and a laughing stock to age mates. I repeat, if you turn yourself into a public flag that is swayed towards every direction by others' opinions, thus fitting in others' plans at the expense of your own plan, then, my dear friend, you will become a socialite for a fallen hero who perishes in the whims of others and a laughing stock to age mates. Always remember that pleasing others at the expense of yourself is tantamount to killing yourself slowly till you perish completely. So, whereas it's okay to socialize with others, make sure that you have provided time for socialization within your schedule and adhere to that schedule. Therefore, other people should fit within your schedule, but not you fitting in other people's schedules, unless if you have already provided for that time within your schedule. It is better to be hated by others today for refusing to fit within their plans, and then you achieve your goals, because once you accomplish your objectives, they will be the same people that will also become your friends. In addition, always take time to think about the consequences of any action before you engage in it or before you give your response to such a request. You should therefore restrict yourself to thinking before acting. So, because committing yourself to executing a new task or a new request, or I repeat, so before you commit yourself to executing a new task or a new request, stop to think about it before you act or before you give your response. This will prevent you from taking on too much work and from undertaking activities that may become detrimental to your life and obstacles to your vision. Number 11, identify and deter time robbers. Identify and deter time robbers. Time robbers are those habits that make you not to adhere to your set schedule. They thus steal your time, sabotage your goals, and block your success. Such habits include: number 1, browsing through online social sites for posts that have nothing to do with accomplishing your current tasks. Number 2, listening or engaging in political discussions or watching television when you are supposed to be executing a certain scheduled task. Number 3 is engaging in hot button topics that motivate you to spend all your time engaging in arguments for pleasure at the expense of your schedule. Or number 4, focusing on other people's work at the expense of yours. Or number 5, executing some tasks that do not add any value to your current task, what is called filler tasks, at hand, in as much as they may seem to keep you busy, such as searching for a book when you are supposed to be reading, amongst other such time wasters. So there are other time robbers, other activities that make you waste your time and thus make you not to be able to adhere to your schedule or accomplish your tasks. And such should be avoided. You should therefore always make a list of bad habits that are making you not to stick on your schedule, then work on them one at a time and systematically eliminate them from your life. Remember that the easiest way to eliminate a bad habit is to replace it with a better habit. In conclusion, with your time being your life, plan all your activities well in advance, organize all your daily activities and the necessary resources in tandem with your plan, then direct your actions towards accomplishing your objectives as you take full control of your available time in order to save your life. I repeat, in conclusion, with your time being your life, plan all your activities well in advance, organize all your daily activities and necessary resources in tandem with your plan, then direct your actions towards accomplishing your objectives as you take full control of your available time in order to save your life. And with that, we have come to the end of this important topic on time management. Congratulations for learning about time management. To easily access more life skills, motivational and inspirational videos from Emily Swap Life Skills YouTube channel, ensure that you click on subscribe button below this video if it's not currently reading, as subscribed. In addition, you can access various free resources in ICT or computer field by searching for Emily Swap ICT YouTube channel and then clicking on subscribe button if it's not reading as subscribed. For any further suggestions, corrections or queries in relation to this video and other videos posted in either Emily Swap Live Skills or Emily Swap ICT YouTube channels, feel free to write it to us through the email emilyswap@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening to me and be blessed as you manage your time.